Hey, good Friday morning coffee. So I went to bed with a few ideas last night. Still got them, in case you wanted to know. So, first off, I want to say goodbye to Mr. Ross Perot. Perot Systems, Electronic Data Systems. I worked for after General Motors bought them. I transitioned from GM into EDS because EDS did more computer things than General Motors did, and I had a greater opportunity basically to do more. Ended up I didn't. I stayed in Michigan working with auto manufacturers. That was mostly my choice. Did help a few other folks get into accounts like NASA and other corporate accounts supporting space work, aviation work. So I helped a few people get through to somewhere. Probably the most interesting part of the career was, and you'd have to understand what real-time systems integration is and the complexities of it and how much of a specialty it was and still is in software engineering terms. There's not a lot of us out there, and today I imagine there might be less because the software is so sophisticated. You don't write the software anymore, you enable it, you turn options on and off. So life has changed quite a bit in the decade since I was there. So technically, I herded cats. When that EDS cat herding commercial came out, we all laughed over it and appreciated it. But in the meantime, it was a very subtle slap at a lot of our clients, and especially folks in, I mean, we're doing robots, we're doing automation and moving parts around that has just never been done before. So it's interesting, but it also replaced humans on the jobs at a ratio of about, if there were 10 people in a work group, there's probably only 4 necessary after that. And one of them might be a skilled tradesman leveraged across multiple work cells. So, cats, herding cats. I surely laughed at the commercial. It is still a classic. Lots of folks go back to it, and I can remember more than a few humble meetings with executives and mid-level executives kind of laughing about the commercial and realizing how difficult it is in a software world to make changes. One of the biggest challenges we had, because so many people were familiar with mainframe systems and basically sequential processing and batch processing, that real-time systems, asynchronous systems, where you're actually worried about the subroutine runtimes and overruns and interactions and the memory use. Did the first scan of a program use the same memory sets, the same on and off bits from the floor is the second part of the program that made a related decision? So this is process state management in real-time systems, a consideration that how fast can you scan a device, how fast do you need to, how fast can you get the information back from that controller out there that's scanning. So cats, lots of cats, and I was one of them. So there you go. So yeah, Mr. Perot created quite a machine, quite an engine. EDS. I worked in manufacturing services in I forget, 3 or 4 different groups with big names, lots of numbers of people. Computer times. Second, second thoughts. Second thoughts. Reparations. I see a lot of noise around about reparations, and people owed things from the past. I'm not comfortable with that reparations thing and how it's used. If we want to do reparations, we need to go back and look at the indigenous Americans who we displaced off their lands. Native Americans' historical records go back some 18 or 20,000 years in America. Their claim, their rights claims to lands is as deep and as solid as those rights claims being made in the Middle East. And yet we don't have that reparations discussion, do we? We don't fix the drinking water that our corporations polluted on their reservations. Their reservations that are in not the best places. And we put them there, and then we found out we sat them on top of mineral resources. So we go in underneath them and steal their mineral wealth that we never really gave them anyway. So reparations, war reparations, what does that mean? Reparations for slavery. Technically, we enslaved every tribe on this continent. We put them in little compounds, put fences up around them, made them think they're separate nations with no powers and no wealth. So the reparations conversation is huge. How we fix it is huger. What we owe each other on this planet, this life. That is, you're here, you have some rights. What are they? Hey, thanks for listening.